aptitude. We'll be quick and we'll just try to finish it off as soon as possible, right? Cobbler is to shoe, then carpenter is to what? Obviously not bag, obviously not car or ring, it is chair, right? Easy. Constitution is to preamble, right? Okay, and book is to what, right? So preamble is the preface of constitution, right? Constitution is the rule book of the like it's a rule book of how exactly the nation should run, right? Okay, so book, right? So book over here, the preface is the book, right? Okay, preface is for the book. Why? Because preface outlines about the book, right? Third question is about the odd one out, right? Okay, Opera, Chrome and Edge, these are the browsers, right? Google is the search engine, right? Okay, Opera, Chrome and Edge are the browsers and Google in itself is the search engine. That's why it's the odd one out, right? Telephone, telegraph, telesmatics and television, right? Okay, over here your television, telegraph and telephone are the methods of communications, means of communications, right? But telesmatics is more like, you know, some occult practices and stuff, right? Okay, which you know, you try to do on your friends and all that, right? Okay, something like voodoo, black magic, right? In this case it is white magic, right? Which you know, brings good fortune on whom or for whom this telesmatics are being performed, right? So rest all other telephone, telegraph and televisions are your means of communication, right? Okay, it can be audio communication or video communication, right? Okay, now which one will come next in the series? +3, +5, +7, +9, +11. If you do question number 5, 37, C is the answer, right? Sports, cricket and football, right? Sports, this is your sports, cricket and football, easy one, right? Years, decade and century, right? For this particular question, right? Years, and then the second circle is decades and then century over here, right? Okay, extremely easy one, right? Let's move on to the next one, right? Starting from point A, right? Starting from point A, right? X walks 15 kilometers northwards, right? Where is the north, right? X walks 15 kilometers northwards to reach the point. Starting from point A, right? X walks 15 kilometers northwards to reach the point B. From there he turns left and walks 10 kilometers, right? Turns left and walk 10 kilometers, right? Okay, starting from point A, X walks 15 kilometers north to reach the point B. From there he turns left and walks 10 kilometers to reach the point C. Then he turns right. Okay, then he turns right and walk for 10 kilometers over here to reach the point D, and finally he turns right and walks 30 kilometers, right? He walks 30 kilometers, okay, to reach the point D over here. Then the shortest distance between the starting point and the end point. Okay, basically what is the A value is what they are asking, right? Okay, so AB, right? Starting from point A, X walks 15 kilometers northwards to reach point B. So this value is 15, right? Okay, now if we draw a straight line over here, right? Okay, if we draw a straight line over here, so this yellow line will be how much, right? 15 plus 10, which will be 25, right? And how about this particular line, right? This particular line, since this line is 10 and this entire line over here is 30, right? So obviously this line will be how much? 20, right? So now you have a right angle triangle, right? You have a right angle triangle wherein this is 20 and this is 25, right? So obviously this particular value will be how much, right? Root under 625 minus 400, right? Root under 625 minus 400, right? Is that what? Okay, it's not 6, okay, plus 400, right? Okay, because that's the hypotenuse, right? So this particular value will come out to be 1025 over here, folks, right? Okay, so now which is equal to how much? Okay, this one will go 41 times, so 5 root 41. D over here is going to be the correct answer for this question, folks, right? Okay, see, mostly your distance and you know, direction type question, right? It will be direction sense question. It will be easy in nature, but a few questions will you know disturb you a little bit, so you might want to work with that accordingly, right? Madhu points to a picture and says, "This is my mother's sister's daughter." Okay, right? Madhu points to a picture and says, "This is my mother's." Okay, so if this is Madhu, right? So Madhu will have a father and a mother. Okay, this is my mother's, right? My mother. So this particular person, mother's sisters. Okay, sister. So over here is the sister and his sister. Mother's sister will also have a husband, right? And sister's daughter over here, right? So how is the lady in the picture related to Madhu, right? Okay, so Madhu is related like what? Cousin sister, right? How is this particular person related to this particular person is what they are asking in question number 9, folks, right? Okay, quickly let's move on to question number 10. If X is the sister of Y, okay, X is the sister of Y, right? Okay, and Z is the mother of Y, right? If Z is the mother of Y, okay, so which means over here you have, if Z is the mother of Y, so over here you have something like this, right? Okay, if Z is the mother of Y means Z is over here, right? W is father of Z, okay, right? So W is father of Z over here, right? So if W is father of Z means this is how it is going to look like. W is father of Z. V is husband of Z. Okay, so V is the husband of Z. Okay, then the brother of W, right? Then the brother of W will be dash of X, right? Okay, then over here is the brother of W, right? This is the brother of W, right? Okay, so let's read all of this condition. If X is the sister of Y, right? X is the sister of Y, right? And Z is the mother of Y, right? So in that case, Z is mother of Y, right? Okay, so for that, for a bit more clarity, we can write it something like this. Okay, over here is your X and as well as over here is your Y. We don't know about the gender of this particular person, right? Okay, so X is the sister of Y, Z is the mother of Y, right? And W is the father of Z, right? W is the father of Z, and V is the husband of Z, and then brother of W, right? Brother of W, right? This particular person will be dash of X, right? Okay, W is what? Okay, maternal grandfather, right? So maternal grandfather's brother. Okay, right? So question number 10, this is what we are going to choose as an answer, folks, right? So obviously for this question we are going to have like this, okay, and then this particular over here you are going to have a triangle sort of stuff, right? You're going to have a triangle sort of stuff, right? Okay, so over here this is the triangle, right? Okay, and at this particular place you will have the inverted triangle, right? And then this, so obviously for question number 11 we'll go ahead with B as an answer, folks, right? Okay, now dot situation, very classical question over here for your AFCAT examination, right? So let's take case by case. This particular dot, okay, which represents your star and rectangle, right? No intersection between star and rectangle, so A is not your answer. Okay, star and rectangle, right? Star and rectangle, you can place it over here, right? Star and rectangle, you can place it over here, right? Okay, now this particular one, this particular dot, the black dot, it represents what? Star and triangle, right? Star and triangle, there is no intersection between star and triangle over there. Star and triangle only, right? Star and triangle only, right? Okay, so star and triangle, you can possibly place it here. Can you make star and triangle? Can you draw star and triangle somewhere here? No, right? Rectangle also comes into the picture. That's why B is not the correct answer over here. 12, question number 12, option B, C will be the answer, right? Over here, don't do the mistake of ticking this, right? Okay, what that you have found out that C is the answer. No, where is the C? Option C. Option C is in choice number B, right? Option C is in option B, right? I mean, you understand what I mean, right? Okay, so these questions will kind of make some silly mistakes, right? So you can avoid doing that particular mistake, right? Okay, let's move on to question number 13. Aman is older than Sahu, right? Okay, so Aman is older than Sahu, right? So Aman is older than Sahu. Sahu is younger than Komal, right? Okay, so Sahu is younger than Komal, right, but older than Milan. Komal is older than Aman, right? If Komal is older than Aman, right, okay, so Komal will be somewhere over here, right? Komal is older than Aman, right, but younger than Uday, right? Who is the third oldest among them, right? Okay, so Aman is older than Sahu, right? Aman is older than Sahu, right? Sahu is younger than Komal, right, but older than Milan, right? Up till this we don't have no problem. Okay, Komal is older than Aman but younger than Uday, right? Younger than Uday, right? So this is how it is going to look like. Okay, this is how it is going to look like. And third oldest among them, right? Third oldest among them is A. Sorry, third oldest among them is A, which is Aman over here, folks, right? Okay, right? So question number 13, B is what we are going to go ahead with, right? You see, most of these reasoning questions are easy, right? Okay, but nowadays your AFCAT question papers are not that easy, right? That's why cutoff goes only 120 and stuff. During my time, cutoff at one particular time went as high as 165 also, right? Okay, so be prepared for that, right? If the questions are easy, you have to solve it in a more proper way, right? Over here, arrow, 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 left arrow, then the arrow will come over here at the top. Just for checking, we want to check hashtag, 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 right? Okay, no further checking. Question number 14, we'll go ahead with D as an answer, right? Okay, right? Question number 15, if exclamation means division, right? How did I teach you to solve this type of question? First, write down all the numbers, right? 135, 3, 45, right, 4 and 167, right? Okay, so over here this particular value, it means what? Division, right? Okay, and means subtraction, right? Dollar means multiplication, right? At means addition over here, right? So now if we just solve for it, this is how much? 45. Okay, 45 minus this is how much? 45 into 4 is how much? 90, right? This is your 90 plus 167, 167 plus 45, 7 plus 5 is 12, 2, 6 plus 4, 10, 10, 1, 12, 2, right? Okay, 10, okay, how much is that? 7 plus 5 is 12, 6, 4, 10, 11, 1, okay, minus this particular value. Okay, what have we missed, right? Okay, 135, 3, 45, 4 and 167, right? Okay, exclamation means division, right? At the rate means addition, right? At the rate means addition. Then dollar means, right, dollar means multiplication, right? Dollar is in front of this. Okay, and means subtraction, and means subtraction over here, right? Okay, if you work out this particular stuff first, right, this is your 45, right? Obviously there is no other option over here, 45, and dollar means multiplication, means dollar means multiplication means obviously we will do this one first. Okay, this number is 180, right? So we will do 180 over here, right? Okay, so which means 32 is what going to be the answer for question number 15, folks, right? Okay, that is why it is important to write down all the numbers. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit sleepy, that's why I'm making this mistake. And yeah, obviously in the examination hall you won't be doing that. Okay, 24, 3, 2, 2, 8, right, equal to 22, right? Okay, then which sequence of sign will replace the letter A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, D, right? Let's say if option 1 were correct, okay, if option 1 were correct, right, if option A I'm checking, right, plus division minus, okay, right, this is how much? This one will give you 72, 72, and you know it is not going to give you 22, right, because that's a huge number for sure, right? Okay, if that's a huge number, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone, right? Okay, so your option number 1 is definitely not the right answer. We'll work out over here with this one. Okay, division, multiplication, minus, and then plus, right? So this number will give you 8 into 2, this is how much, minus 2 plus 8, right? So which is a 16 plus 8 minus 2 over here, right? Okay, so if you solve for this, you will get how much, right? 22 as an answer. So for question number 16, we go ahead with C as an answer, right? BODMAS type question, very easy, right? Okay, now for question number 17, coding decoding, S T H I I J M N O, right? Okay, so one is getting ahead, right? Okay, so B C R S, right? Over here, what do you see? F, this is F, okay, R S, right? So simply just tick D and move on to the next one, okay, right? Period is written as, right? Period, period is written as CHNQDO, right? Okay, right? Okay, so over here the logic is, okay, minus 1, right? Over here minus 1, PQR, right? Okay, then IHI, right? NO, right? CD, right? Okay, so obviously over here, right, last one will be K, right? KL, right? So that means this is what is going to be, right? And then MN, right? MN, so the first one is supposed to be N, right? MN, R, right? DK, the third last digit over here, sorry, the third last alphabet is supposed to be either R or S, right? The third last will be R or S. This is what is the contention now, right? Okay, so third last is related to this one, okay? Third last is QR, that's how it is related, right? Okay, so R S, right? Okay, over here is S, so obviously over here S is what going to, R is what going to come over here for this particular answer. For question number 18, we'll go ahead with A, right? Okay, argue is to squabble, right? Arguing and squabbling both are synonym in nature, therefore eliminate means what? Obliterate, okay? Obliterate, okay, right? The terrorists were eliminated by RR, right? Eliminated by Rashtriya Rifles, eliminated by Jack Rifles, right? Something like that, okay? Right, something like that, okay? Or so eliminate means eradicate. Obviously not accepted, initiated or established, these are all the wrong answers, okay? Odd one out, narrate, delineate. Delineate means explain, right? Depict means, to explain, to show in a pictographical manner, okay? Natal, okay, natal is related to newborn, okay? Natal word is related to newborn, so we go ahead with question number 20. D is the correct answer for this question, folks, right? Okay, odd man out over here, right? Odd man out, question number 21, right? Easily you can see that B is the odd man out over here, right? Okay, right? Question number 21. Question number 22, chlorine is a gas, oxygen is a gas, nitrogen is a gas, bromine is what? Okay, liquid in nature, right? Okay, right? MARKS, marks stand for RFWPX, okay, right? Marks stand for RFWPX, okay? So MARKS, right? So RFWPX, right? So A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Is it like plus 5 over there, right? STUVW, okay? Is it like plus 5 over there? To check for M, N, O, P, Q, R, right? So if you check for each of them, it is simply plus 5, right? Okay, so E, F, G, H, I, J, right? Okay, so the last two words over here, the two words over here is supposed to be E, F, G, H, I, J. Sorry folks, right? So A, B, C, D, E, right? E is 5, plus 5 means J is what will come. So question number 23, B is what going to go ahead with the correct answer, right? Okay, now question number 24, you board the train, right? You board the train, right? You board the train, but how do you mount? Do you mount on the building? Do you mount on the tree? Do you mount on the hill? No, you mount on the horse, right? Okay, so question number 24, we go ahead with B as the correct answer, folks, right? Okay, all right, question number 25 in that case. Let me not show you the general English because you will start solving that well in advance, right? Okay, right? Question number 25, folks, what do you guys think? Tell me, what do you guys think about this question number 25? Okay, Any answer option, or is that only me who is solving this? Yeah, I'm not supposed to write these exams. I'm done writing these exams, right? Okay, right. 2024 one was the last exam I wrote. I passed, but I did not want to go to SSB, AFSB, right? I'm done with that. Okay, so there's some medical issues as well, right, which I only know, right? So yeah, now it's your turn to solve this. Solve question number 25. 5 of you, none of you are writing. Okay, so if you look at that, okay, question number 25, B is 2, C is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, so E stands for 5, right? This is 5, this is 7. L is what? L is what? J, K, L. L is how much? 12 over here, right? Okay, similarly this one also holds good, right? J is 10, right? J, K, K is 11, right? E, J, O, T, T, U, 21, okay? E, J, O, T, Y, okay? Let's work out with G. G is for A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G is for 7, right? E, J, K, right? And R is how much, right? R is E, J, O, is R 18, E, J, O. O is 15, 16, 17, 18. O, P, Q, R, right? What are we missing, right? Okay, J, K, right? E, J, K, right? S, T, U, E, J, O, T, Y, okay? So yeah, let's get on that. Okay, B is 2, C is 3, A, B, C, D, E. E is 5, right? So 2 plus 3 is 5. E is 5, it is 7, right? Right? And then L, J, K, L, right? This is the milestone that you have to remember. E, J, O, T, Y. Okay, this is the milestone, right? If you can't remember the entire alphabet numbers, this is the milestones: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? E, Jyoti, right? Somebody's girlfriend name is Jyoti. That's how, just keep that in your mind. Okay, right? Okay, so J, K, L, right? So L is your 12, 5 plus 7 is 12, right? G is again 7, J, K, right? J, K is 11, right? Okay, O, P, Q, and R. R is 18, right? J is how much? 10, right? K is how much? 11, right? Okay, S, T, U. Okay, after T you have U over here, right? Okay, S, T, U. U is also 21. Okay, so which one do you think is the odd one out over here in that case? Okay, I don't find anyone is the odd one out over here, right? What do you think? Which one is the odd one out? Okay, let's just quickly check which one should be the odd one out over here in that case for question number 25. Okay, all right, question number 25, they are saying D, right? Okay, positional value of J is not a prime number. Okay, positional value of J is not a prime number. What does it mean? Okay, right. Oh, okay, all right, so we get that. Okay, so this is your B is your prime number, right? E5 is a prime number, G7 is also a prime number, but J10 is not the prime number. At least this is what the logic that they have given over here in the book, right? If you want to accept it, you can accept it, but in my I would not say, I would say that the question is wrong. Okay, right? If you want to go ahead with the answer which is given in the book, you can go ahead with D as an answer, right? Okay, right? Apple pie order, right? Apple pie order means what? It is related to fruit packing, right? Okay, right? Okay, I don't think so. Is it related to dry fruits packing? No, that is also definitely not the case, right? Now you are left with 50-50. Okay, right? So is it in apple pie order, right? Apple pie order, right? Okay, is it in random order or in perfect order, right? Okay, I would like to go ahead with in random order over here, right? Let's check 26. Okay, I'm wrong, right? Happens, not a big deal. Okay, so the idiom apple pie order means the perfect or neat arrangement. Sorry, my mistake, right? Okay, so I'll correct it over here for question number 26, right? The answer is not random order, right? Answer is apple pie order means the perfect order, right? One thing is that the literal meaning is definitely not going to be the correct, okay? And whenever you go for 50-50, take risk, okay? Yeah, in my case it went wrong, I know, right? But it won't be that case always, right? Okay. Which one of the following is synonymous of pompous? Pompous means showy, right? Showy means pretentious, okay, right? It's not modest, it's not humble, or it's not unaffected, right? Okay. Quibble, right? Quibble means same as, you know, talking too much, right? Okay. Quibbling, right? Quibbling, right? Okay. Quibbling, right? Okay. Quibble, someone who speaks too much, right? Okay. It's not grumble, right? Granny will grumble, mumble, right? All of the mumbling, okay, speaking in their own mouths, right? So this is not the right answer, right? Reason, investigate. Argue over here is the right answer, folks, right? Cherish is something that you remember, right? The opposite of that over here is disregard. One more mistake that you will do in the examination hall is not reading that word properly, okay? That they have asked you either synonym or antonym, right? Okay, that you have to keep that in mind, okay? Right? Persecute, right? Persecute, right? Persecute, right? Execute, persecute, right? Persecute, right? Persecute, right? Okay. So obviously you are not encouraging them, you are doing something negative over here, right? Okay, that's how the feeling I can get, okay, right? Harass, annoy, molest. These three seems to be synonym. So what do we want to go ahead with? Encourage over here, right? Okay. Comfort, luxury, happiness, enjoyment. Discontentment, okay, right? If you are not happy at certain place, that will bring you what? Discontentment, okay? So question number 31, you go ahead with B as an answer, right? Okay. In granary you keep the grains, the weapons are kept in arsenal, okay, right? Not boneyard, okay, right? Okay, or cargo, right? The correct answer for question number 32 is B. Okay, collection of arms is called as the arsenal, right? Question number 32, select the word which means the same as the group of the given words. Government by a few or small group of people, right? Government by a few or a small group of people. That's not bureaucracy, right? That's not aristocracy. It's not about aristocracy, is about only one person, right? Okay. Ochlocracy. I'm hearing about this for the very first time. You find out what is the meaning of that, okay? The correct and exact meaning is oligarchy, okay, right? In oligarchy, right, or whatsoever the way that you might want to pronounce it, right? Okay, oligarchy, right? Okay, so in oligarchy, what happens that a few powerful people controls everything, right? Okay, right? Okay. Do previous year questions repeat in AFCAT? Okay. That's a very dicey thing to answer. Steel fuel, right? Okay, you can't really say anything about it, okay? AFCAT, if you're writing AFCAT, I would tell you to be prepared for surprises, okay? From which particular corner of the world they will ask the question that we don't know, right? We can only extrapolate our learning to what they have asked, right? As far as if you ask me, then it repeats it does not repeat exactly, right? It does not repeat exactly, but let's say if they are asking Nobel Peace Prize winner for chemistry in 2024, right? So they are likely to ask about Nobel Peace Prize for physics, right? They are likely to ask about peace, right? In 2023, in 2024, right? Okay, those are the likely ones, right? Okay, so let's say if you are for example I mean you can't really guess, right? You can't really guess, right? Okay, so so honestly you can't say that these things are going to repeat or not, okay? But yeah, it can happen as well, okay? Yeah, you can't say yes or no, right? The answer to that question is both yes or no, right? Okay, so what you have to do, for example, you are reading this question, you are studying this question, Your job is to study all about this, all about this, all about this, and all about this. Okay, right? Okay, as much as you can study. That's how your preparation will be completed, right? Okay, I tell to all of my aspirants that AFCAT is the one of the most easiest examination in the defense services examination. The only easier examination could be CGCAT, but for that also cutoff is pretty high, right? So as to be able to be called for the PSB, right? Okay, only exam which is easier than AFCAT is CGCAT, right? And it is the test of your aptitude, folks, right? Aptitude. Okay, if you are good with static GK, if you are good with static GK, if you are habitual of reading newspaper and stuff, I don't think you should have much of a problem, right? Okay, and yeah, okay, and for example, questions like if they ask you, right, gully, right, gully is related to which particular game, right? So from there we extrapolate that, okay, they are asking games and their terms, right? So your job is to list down all the games, right? Hockey, football, volleyball, right? Equestrian and all that, and learn all the names in that. Okay, that is how you should prepare, right? Okay, right? It's not like you read this question and the same question is going to come in your examination hall. Okay, definitely no, right? GK you can't say anything, right? English is English is in behavior, right? English, they in the syllabus what they write, English should be workman like attitude, workman like usage, right? Okay, so workman like usage means we are not Englishmen, right? Okay, we are not Shashi Tharoor, right? Okay, we'll use gobbledygook, bombastic words, okay, right? Tongue twisters and all that. Okay, she went to the hi-fi and whatnot bullshit, right? Nothing like that. Okay, easy, right? Okay, all these things, if somebody is habitual of reading a newspaper or a book, they should be able to do that. Okay, I have not done any particular course, or I have never studied subject plus verb plus object, not required. Okay, right? But for maths, reasoning, it's more or less the same, right? Okay, you can't create more concepts, right? Isn't it? Okay, you can only change the numbers, right? You can only give certain, you can only make it quirky, right? Okay, right, little bit quirky, right? AFCAT is known for giving question in such a way that it will omit certain numbers from between. Okay, right, and then you will have to think through that. Okay, they focus on lateral thinking, right? Okay, so street smart, if you are street smart, then you will clear this examination, right? Be street smart. Okay, right. Be ready to pull up your sleeves and get the things done. Okay, if required, remove your shirt and tie a knot, right? Okay, so that's how you should be working ahead as far as this examination is concerned. It's not like CDS or CAPF or NDA, right, which will have a very huge syllabus, length and breadth of the syllabus you have to study for months, right? Nothing like that. Over there also you can get it done with certain strategies, but yeah, okay, over there the amount of work that you need to put is obviously more than this. Okay, so answering to that question, does question repeat or not, yes or no? Okay, right. All right, so government by a few or a small group of people is called oligarchy. Okay, now if you are studying that, you should know what do you mean by bureaucracy, what do you mean by aristocracy, what do you mean by ochlocracy, right? As I'm solving this in front of you, right? So I did not do my homework, I've just pulled in, right? So now I will study question number 33, right? So let's see what do they give the explanation for question number 33 over here, right? Okay, so question number 33, oligarchy refers to a small form of government where power is concentrated in the hands of small privileged or group of elite, right? That's the only explanation that they have given. Can't help it, right? Okay, so by the way, I came across this word very first time in my entire life. Okay, so I don't think this is going to be the right answer, and I'm habitual of reading books and stuff from 9th class onwards, the class when I joined my Sainik school. Okay, right? So that's the stuff, right? All right, let's move on to question number 34. In that case, which one a word closest in the meaning to the statement in the question, right? One who is indifferent to all the pleasure and pain, right? One who is indifferent to the pleasure and pain is not stern, it's not egoistic, right? Stern means what, right? Okay, stifle, right? Stern means you are very stubborn, right? Stubborn, right? Okay, in Hindi we call it jiddi, right? Okay, eccentric, right? Eccentric, who only puts himself or herself first, right? That person are eccentric, right? Stoic, right? Okay, stoic, they are indifferent to the pain and the pleasure both, right? So that's the correct answer, right? Okay, in the following word, out of the four alternatives, choose the words which can be substituted for the given words. And a person who has renounced faith, right? Renounced faith means apostate, right? Okay, it's not quirk, it's not whim, right? Quirk means strange, right? Quirky, right? Something which draws the attention, that is called as the quirky, right? Okay, right? So quirk, fancy, whims are not the right answer over here, right? Okay, pull a long face, right? What do you mean by the pulling a long face? Pulling a long face, it does not mean without hesitation, right? Or to prepare the counter argument, or right, miss a chance. It means question number 36 C over here, right? To pull a long face means what? To pull a long face means to look sad, folks, right? So this is what is going to be the answer to this particular question, right? To pull a long face means to look sad. Okay, all right, question number 39 to 37, right? Let's read through that. India's history and culture are, okay, right? India's history and culture are, right? Lethargic, lethargic means lazy, right? Okay, right? Inactive, right? Is it what going to be the uses of word lazy, right? India's history and culture are dynamic, right? Okay, always changing. Dynamic means always changing, spanning back to the beginning of human civilization. It begins with a mysterious dash, right? Mysterious, right? Family, fight, inelegance. Inelegance means the opposite of beauty, right? Ugliness, right? Right? Culture, right? Okay, it begins with a mysterious culture along the Indus River and in farming communities in the southern lands of India. The history of India is punctuated by the constant integration of migrating people with the diverse cultures that surround India. Available evidence suggests that the use of iron, copper, and other metals was widely prevalent in the Indian subcontinent at a fairly early period, which is indicative of the progress that this part of the world has made. By the end of the 4th millennium BC, India had emerged as a region of highly developed civilization, right? Okay, the history of India begins with the birth of Indus Valley civilization, more precisely known as the Harappa civilization, right? It dash around, okay. It was your choice whether or not you want to read that, okay. I would suggest you to read that because at least it gives you an entire context, okay, right? Okay, I would have read that in the examination hall, yes, okay, but maybe fairly a bit more quickly, yeah, okay. It dash around 2500 BC in the western part, okay, twirled, right, withheld, withered means, okay, like to go away, right, halted. Flourished is what going to be the correct answer for this particular question, right? Okay, if you are able to see that, and I would highly encourage you guys to solve this by yourself and write down the answers, right? Okay, or otherwise it's just only me, the teacher, who is studying, right? Okay, isn't it? Okay, now let's read through this. Okay, this is now a passage type, 3 questions from passage. Now my habit is to first read the question. Okay, so I'll read the question over here based on the passage, which is the major drawback of the present education system. That's the first question that they have asked. Okay, I mean the 40th question, right? How did the Congress leaders argue under the colonial rule, right? That's the second question, right? First is about the drawback of the education system, second is about the colonial rule. So when we read the passage, we'll focus on that. Okay, if you are that kind of person who reads the passage first and then the question second, I have no issues. Please go for that. Okay, according to the passage, what would be the main purpose of political education, right? Now read the passage, right? Given below short passage followed by some of first read and you are required. Okay, all of these are stories only, right? Political education has many connotations. It may be defined as the preparation of a citizens to take well-informed, responsible and sustained action for participation in the national struggle in order to, okay, participation in the national struggle, right? In order to achieve the socio-economic objective of the country. The predominant socio-economic objectives in India are the abolition of poverty and the creation of a modern democratic secular socialist society in place of a present traditional feudal hierarchical and an egalitarian one. Okay, all of these are, you know, terminologies from your civics books, right? Okay, under colonial rule, the Congress leaders argue. There is a question about the Congress leaders, right? How these Congress people have been arguing, right? The Congress leaders argue that political education was an important part of education, right? And refused to accept the official view that education and politics should not be mixed with one another. But when they come to power in 1947, they almost adopted the British policy and began to talk of education being defiled by politics. Okay, so first they are saying that when up until they came to power, right? I'm neither Modi supporter or Congress supporter, right? Okay, I mean, I'm just myself, okay, right? Independent candidate, right? Okay, so up until Congress came into power, it said that the politics is a important aspect. But after coming to power, now that people will dissent in politics, right? Okay, and they will tell that no, okay, no, it's stifling the education, right? It is degrading the quality of the education, right? Hands-off education was the call to political parties, right? But in spite of it, political infiltration into the education system has greatly increased, in the sense that different political parties, why means contest with each other to capture the minds of the teachers and students. The wise academicians wanted political support without political interference, right? So that's a big thing, right? That's a big thing, right? Okay, right? All right, so you read the passage, okay? I hope you also read the passage along with me. So based on the passage, which is the major drawback of the present education system, right? The education system mainly represents the oppressed section of the society. Nowhere they have mentioned that they are representing the oppressed section, right? The present education system promotes domination of privileged few. Hold on, okay, it is based on the British model of education. It is highly hierarchical and egalitarian in nature. Okay, right? Okay, right? So which one do you want to go ahead with? Okay, if you are choosing this, it is highly hierarchical and egalitarian in nature, then the present education system promotes domination of a privileged few. This also you should choose, right? It does not say it promotes the domination of that. Okay, right? May be happening, but it is happening by itself. There is no promotion of that particularly, right? It is based on the British model of education, which is clearly written over here, right? Okay, where exactly it is written? Let's read that. Okay, education is managed, is refined. Okay, right? But when they came to power, they almost adopted the British policy, right? And began to talk of education, right? Somewhere over here, right? Political education has many connotations. Maybe defined as the preparation of a citizens to take well-informed, responsible, and sustained actions for participation in the national struggle, right? Okay, right? So the closest answer over here is it is based on the British model of education. Let's check the answer. Question number 40, right? Question number 40, C, yes is the correct answer, right? Okay, so yeah, okay. Nowhere they said that it is being promoted or something like that, right? Okay. How did Congress leader argue under the colonial rule? Under the colonial rule, they said that it is required, right? People should be able to take informed decision, right? Okay, they said that political education was an important part of education, right? Okay, obviously, without even reading any other options, we can say D is the correct answer, folks. Okay, according to the passage, what should be the main purpose of political education? To champion the cause of elitism, right? Champion the cause of elitism means you want to promote elitism, right? Elitism or elitism, right? Okay, right? No, to bring qualitative change in the entire education system. Okay, right? Okay, so I don't think so that they have to bring the change as it is, right? To create an egalitarian society, no, right? Egalitarian is also like in Hindi we call it Samantwad, right? Okay, right. Egalitarian means ji hujuri, right? Okay, something like that. Okay, to prepare the young generation with high intellectual acumen. Okay, right. So to create an egalitarian, to bring qualitative change in the entire education system, right? Are they bringing the change in the entire system, right? Okay. So political education, I don't think so. I would like to go ahead with D. Let's check what does the answer say over here, right? Okay. Maybe correct also, incorrect also. 42. C they have given. Okay. Hold on. Why have they given C? Where were we? Okay. Right. Okay. They have given C to create an egalitarian society. Okay. Right. To create an egalitarian. Okay. Egalitarian means what? What do we mean by egalitarian? Right? Okay. Egalitarian, what is the meaning of egalitarian? Did we not understand the meaning of that? Egalitarian means, okay, that everyone, okay. Egalitarian, my bad, okay. Egalitarian, okay. My wrong understanding, sorry about that, okay. It means that, okay, the Google over here says used about a person, system or society following the principle that everyone should have equal rights, okay, equal rights, okay, right? And I read this one and then I concluded that the predominant socio-economic objectives in India are the abolition of poverty and the creation of a modern, democratic, secular, socialist society in place of the present traditional, feudal, hierarchical and in egalitarian one, okay, to ditch all this, right, to ditch all this and to make this one, okay, to make this one. I really read this and thought that egalitarian over here is also a negative word, okay, right? So sorry about that, okay, right? So they are saying to champion the cause of elitism, that is absolutely not the right answer. To bring the qualitative change in the entire education, we are not bringing the change in the education sector, right? Okay, to create an egalitarian society, to prepare the young generation with high intellectual acumen, okay. Yeah, I mean they have really mentioned something like, okay, political education has many, it may be defined as the preparation of citizens to take well informed, responsible and sustained actions for the preparation in the national struggle, okay. So when they say, I read this and I thought that maybe, yeah, D could be the right answer. Anyone could have thought, right? But then the problem is that they are saying over here in the national struggle, okay. When they are saying about the national struggle, they are likely meaning, they mean mostly about pre-1947, okay, right? To create an egalitarian society is what they have given. So I don't have any more comment on this particular question, folks, okay. All right. You should always obey your teachers. How about this? Where exactly is the mistake, okay? It's a question of a question tag, okay. Shouldn't you, this is the correct usage over here, right? You should always obey your teachers. Shouldn't you, right? Shouldn't you, right? Question tags, right? So C is the mistake, right? Suman could not went to picnic, right? Suman could not go to picnic, right? Over here, okay. The mistake is in over here in option number A. Kindly don't do this silly mistake, right? I tell you from my own mistakes that I used to do so many silly mistakes, right? Just because of to be able to solve it fast, right? I used to get answer as A and I used to tick as B, right? Okay. At least 5 questions out of 100, simply carry on working as normal, right? Okay, parents, this is also an error detection question. If parents could be physically in the same place as their children, they could simply carry on as normal, okay. There is no error in this particular question, folks. So we go ahead with D, right? No error, right? Okay. Vinith does not like the logic and keeps his, right? If somebody does not like the logic, okay, breadwinner, playoff, right? Playoff is a standoff knockout, right? Cart before the horse it seems like a correct answer, right? Putting the cart before the horse, right? Okay, but the correct usage over here is the head in the clouds, folks, right? Vinny does not like the logic and keeps his heads in the clouds. Okay, that means he does not keep his heads in the work, and instead he keeps his head in the cloud instead, right? Okay, question number 47, it was a dash, right? It was a dash. They won the strike, but then most of them lost their jobs. Okay, right? It was a dash. Okay, it was a castle in the air, right? Buying a pig in a poke, right? Burning candles at the both ends, right? It was a fiery victory. Okay, fiery victory means, let's just try to understand what you mean by the fiery victory, right? Fiery victory means, right? Fiery victory means what? Okay, fiery victory means a victory, right, which has been won at a huge amount of cost. Okay, a victory won at huge cost. A victory won at huge cost. Okay, let's talk about this, Ashoka, right? The Mauryas, right? They won, right? Alexander, they won. But what did they do? Okay, they brought a lot of destructions in their way, right? Okay, so that was a fiery victory, right? Okay, it is such a victory which brings so much of destruction that the meaning of victory itself goes on to a toss, right? Okay, so that is called as the fiery victory, right? Fill in the blanks. I wish I were a king. I were a king. This is a classical question. Somebody asked me, does question gets repeated, right? So these are the few simple sample type question which gets repeated in not just AFCAT exams, in almost any exam, any competitive exam that you write. Okay, right? If I were the king, right? Were is there over here, is the correct usage, right? Okay, so B is the correct answer, right? The stories in the Arabian Nights are full, are nearly full dash excitement. Okay, with excitement. Okay, right? Okay. Now, Helicon days. What do you mean by, what is the idioms and the phrases of the Helicon days? Okay, it does not. If terrible days and terrible and horrific, does both of these options mean the same, right? Yes, both of these options mean the same, right? Or the risky situation. Helicon days. Okay, Helicon days means peaceful days over here. 50. B is going to be the correct answer for this particular question, folks, right? Okay, question number 51, right? Question number 51, fill in the blanks with the most appropriate answer. The adjective form of commerce, right? Okay, commerce, right, is commercial. Okay, right? It's not commercialize or commercialism, right? Okay, commercially is adverb. Okay, right? So this is not the right answer. Commercial is the correct answer, folks, right? Okay, let's move quickly to question number 52. In the African folk tale, right? In the African folk tales, right? The stories reflect the culture where diverse type of animals abound, right? Okay, in the African folk tales, or demonstrating other human characteristics, so it is not uncommon to find animals talking, singing, right? Okay, characteristics such as, right? So obviously it should end with S, right? It should end with S, right? So C and D you can simply chuck out over here, right? Let's read. In the African folk tales, the stories reflect the culture where diverse type of animals abound. Abound means plenty, right? Okay, the animals and birds are often accorded human attributes. Okay, so it is not uncommon, or demonstrating other human characteristics. Okay, so it is not uncommon to find animals talking, singing, or demonstrating, right? So R, after R, S should be there, right? Okay, so in the African folk tales, right, are often according attributes, right? Okay, the stories. Okay, so now RS is over here also, RS is over here also. So which one would you like to choose, right? Out of this 52, A or B, which one would you like to choose? Tell me. Okay, in the African folk tales, right, the animals and birds are often accorded human attributes. Okay, right? Okay, the stories reflect the culture where diverse type of animal abound. Okay, right? The stories reflect the culture where diverse type of animals abound. Okay, abound means plentiful, right? There is a diverse amount of animals are there. Okay, right? So I would go ahead with B over here. You tell me what is the answer you will go ahead with. Okay, so question number 52, right? A is what they have given. How? Hold on. I only see the one, okay, the correct sequence only, right? Okay. Where exactly is the mistake? What do you guys think? Where exactly is the mistake? Right? Why they have given A? Right? Why they have given A? Right? One thing is certain that the last two sentence has to be RS, right? Okay. Let's read. In the African folk tale, the animals and the birds are often accorded human attributes. Okay. So if this is the case, then over here this should not start with a capital T, right? Okay. In the African folk tales, the stories reflect the culture where diverse type of animals abound. Okay, right? So this is what they have given us, that. Okay, abound. Then after the full stop, and then a new sentence is starting. That is why this is the capital letter over here, right? Okay. So that's why this is there. Okay. So sorry. Okay. Right. Yeah. But one thing was certain, that these two are not the answer, right? There was once a queen who had no children, right? And then of blood fell off the snow, right? Okay. There was once a queen who had no children. By the window swing when she pricked her finger, right? And it grieved her sorely, and the drops of blood, right? And 3 drops of blood fell on the snow, right? So obviously R is going to be in the end, right? So B seems to be the most probable answer. Let's read it still. Okay. There was once a queen who had no children, right? And it grieved her sorely. Okay, sorely means badly. Okay, it grieved her sorely. One winter's afternoon, she was knitting by the window, sewing when she picked her finger, and 3 drops, right, of blood fell on the snow, right, over here. B is going to be the correct answer. I'm 100% sure. I'm sure you are also agreeing with me, so no need to check the answer, right? Okay. Question number 54. Around 600 BC, right, Aesop, right, AESOP, Aesop lived at, okay, right? Though Aesop's own story is a result of myth and legend, right? Right? It is widely believed that he was a slave from, right, Phrygia, the court of the king, Chorus, after having served many, right, masters as slave. Okay, what do you think? Okay, masters, after having served many masters as a slave. So obviously over here it is going to end with S, right? Okay, if it is going to end with S, right, so what it is going to start with? Okay, though Aesop's own story is a result of myth and legend, right, it is widely believed that okay, he was a slave from Phrygia, right? So it should start with Q, one thing is certain, and end with S, right? Okay, it is widely believed that he was a slave from Phrygia, okay, lived at the court of king, okay, right, around 600 BC, right? So this is the second, right, and this is the third you should be looking at, okay, right? So QPRS is what we should be going ahead with. Okay, question number 54, right? Question number 54, B over here is the correct answer for us, right? Okay. There was once a dash, right? There was once a dash had long in vain wished for a child. Okay. There was once a man and a woman who had long in vain wished for a child, right? For a child, right? At length the woman hoped that God was about to grant her the desire. Okay. So it is what? RPQS. Okay. RPQS 55. We'll go ahead with B as an answer to this particular question, folks, right? Okay. So with this we are done with right, English part, right? This is how fastly you should be solving this, okay, right? Okay, and we go ahead further, right? All right, if you don't mind, I might take a little bit of break, maybe some 30 seconds or 1 minute, okay, right? In that I would like to have some water. Yeah. Meanwhile, 56 onward, just think through the question. What do you guys think? Okay. Think through each of these questions. What should come in place of question mark in the question? In the following question, right? Okay. Okay, 15% of 25% of 35, right? Of 35% is what they are asking, right? So simply what you have to do, 15 by 100 into 25 by 100 into 35 by 100 of 100 is what they are asking, right? Okay. This one gone, this one gone, this one gone, this one gone 4 times, this one gone 20 times, right? Just tell me if I miss any number. 7 gone 5 times, right? Okay, so this is 21 and this is 21 times 20. Did I miss something? Anything? Anywhere? Okay, right? 15% of, right? 15%, right? Percent means 1 by 100, right? 15% of 25% of 35 of 100, right? This is what we have, 100 into 35 by 100. This one gone, this one gone, this one gone, this one gone 4 times, this one gone 3 times, this one gone 20 times, right? This one gone 4 times, this one gone 7 times, right? Okay, right? So 16, 21, 1 time 16, 5, 1, 0, 3, right? Now, if you have reached this, if you reached this answer, don't be a fool and solve it entirely, okay? Just tick this and move on, okay? Simply tick this and move on, okay? That's it, okay? All right. We'll move to the next one, question number 57. In that case, the average weight of the first category of student and the second category of the students in a dance class are 15.2 and 14.2 respectively, and the combined average weight of both the categories of the students are 14.8. Then find the ratio of the students of the first category to the second category. Okay, this is your 0.6, this is your 0.4. That is the mean deviation, right? Or simply 6:4 or simply 3:2, right? Simply go ahead with 57 A over here as the correct answer for this particular question, folks. Easy, very easy, right? Isn't it? Okay, right? At what rate percent per annum simple interest a sum of money, right? Right, what is the rate they are asking? Okay, what is the simple interest over here? 693 divided by 540, 351, 153, right? Okay, 153. 20 months means how much? 20 months means 20 by 12 years, right? Okay, so 153 is equal to, right, P into R is what they have asked to find, right? T is how much? 20 by 12 into 100, right? This is what we have, right? This one gone 5 times, right? R is equal to 153 into 5 into 12 divided by 540, right? Okay, this is what we have, right? So now we will solve this, okay, right? So this is like your 108, right? This is like 9 times, right? So which means 153 divided by 9, this is 1, okay, and 7, okay, over here 58. D is the answer, folks, right? Right? So this is how your AFCAT checks your lateral thinking, right? That is important, right? Lateral thinking, right? CDS and all, they might not have a lateral thinking questionnaire with them, okay? CDS will give you a straightforward question, whether you know it or you don't know it, okay? Know it, then write. Don't know it means move away at last, right? Okay. But AFCAT, you have a lot of chance to think through it, okay? If you are slightly smart in your attitude, you will make it, okay? Find the sum invested in compound interest if the amount at the end of 2 years, right? At the end of 2 years and 3 years, right? Find the sum invested, right? Okay, right? At the end of 2 years and 3 years. First, let's find out the rate. How much is the rate? 15972 14520. I'm doing what? Minus 2541. Okay, right. Is it 10%? Is it 10% of this particular number, right? So rate is equal to 10%, right? If they have given for year 2 and year 3, right, then even for the compound interest, this is the rate, right? Rate is how much? 10%, right? Okay, now you know the rate is equal to 10%, right? Okay, if rate is equal to 10% in 2 years, will it come something like that? Okay, if it was 10,000, right, 2 years means 1.1 whole square, 1.21, right? Okay, 1.21, right? Where exactly can you make it happen? 1.21, right? Obviously it's not this number, it's not this number either, but let's work out with 12,000, right? 12,000, right? 12,000, and then over here 2,400, right? And over here 0.01 is how much? 120. Add it up, 02541. Okay, this is the one, right? Okay, right? Okay. See, I had to solve this question, that's why I did this calculation, right? Otherwise it was clearly visible to me, I would not even have done the calculation, right? Okay, just to show you I have done this. Had in the examination hall, what number into 1.21 will give you? These 3 numbers will definitely not give you, so obviously this is the number, right? Okay, you have to do those calculation fast in your mind, okay, and yeah, that feeling will start to come, okay? In mathematics I would not tell you to do guesswork, but yeah, in certain questions you can do the calculation faster with mental maths, right? Find the sum if the amount after 2 years is this much at 10% per annum compounded half yearly. Yeah, this particular question number 60. I don't want you to use your pen and paper. Hello, Harsh, good evening. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, okay. Find the sum if the amount after 2 years is 1,94,481. Without using pen and paper, tell me how will you solve this, right? If it is 2%, 2 years, right, 10% compounded half yearly, just forget this word compounded half yearly. We should not always go by the rules, okay? AFCAT is exactly checks you that, okay? Lateral thinking. So obviously the interest is going to be more than 20%, right? Okay, more than 20%, isn't it? Okay, if the interest is going to be more than 20%, right? Over here 20% is how much, right? This is your 1,50,000, right? 1,50,000 is what you have, right? 1,50,000. So even if 20% will be how much? 30,000, right? is it, so which will be 1,80,000 only, no? 1,80,000 only, no? Right, okay. The compounded half yearly, is it going to offset that 10,000 gap? No, it will not be able to offset that 10,000 gap, okay. So one thing is certain, that these two are not your answer, okay. If these two are not your answer, but over here if you apply, right, if you apply 20%, right, which is your 34,000, right, okay, it will come out, right, 20, right, 2 lakh some number will come, isn't it? Is this number clearly visible to you? So which means this is also definitely not your right answer. The correct answer is simply B over here, right? Now it's your choice. If you want to do the calculation, right, you have to do 16 1,60,000 into 1.05. Why? Because it is compounding half yearly into S is 4, right? Pick up your calculators and do this calculation. You will get this number, right? 194481, right? Okay. So what we have done, even without doing the calculation, we have found out the answer, right? Okay, right? All right. So we'll move to the next question. Question number 61. In that case, in an alloy, the amount of copper and aluminium is in the ratio 3:5, right? It's not 3:5, right? Had it been 75, right? 3:5 means how much, right? Okay, 3:5 means how much, right? It must have been 45 and 30, right? Or if it was 80, 80 means 48 or how much? Okay, 5, 16, 32, right? This is how it must have been, right? Okay, or 85, leave that number 85, right? Or if it was 90, or if it was 90, right? 3:5 means what? Okay, 3:5 means 1854, and your over here how much? 1836. This is how it will be, okay. If 25 kg of alloy, if it is taken, right, this 25 kg alloy will also be in 3:2 ratio, which means 15 and 10 in this particular ratio, the alloy will go out, right, isn't it? The alloy will go out in this particular ratio, right? Okay, so 15:10, right? So just reduce 15 over here, 15 reduce 15 everywhere, right, and reduce 10 over here, right? How much do you get? Okay, you get 30, you get 20, you get 3, you get 22, right? Some number with 9, 4, 1, 3, 26, right? And this is, right, replaced with aluminium, right? Aluminium. So 25 kg of aluminium is being added, right? If 25 kg of aluminium is being added, right, so just add 25 over here, right? So 20 and 45. What is the ratio over here? What is the ratio over here? Is it 2:3, right? So if this is the case over here, 75, right? Okay, 61, option number A, 75 is going to be the correct answer for this particular question, folks, right? Okay. Now this is slightly not so easy, I mean not so tough question, but definitely I have been talking something like ABC type question. A means abhi karo, baad mein karo, chhod do. That is what I have been telling you about the D-Day strategy, right? So this is how exactly you should be working, right? Okay, for your D-Day strategy, right, folks? Okay, so ABC strategy, in that this is your definitely something called B type question, right? Okay, you would like to want to do it later. Okay, the ratio of the selling price of 3 articles is in the ratio 40, 37 and 46, and the profits are in the ratio 5, 4, 7, right? Okay, selling price are in the ratio 40:37:46, and the profits are in the ratio 4:5:7, right? The cost price of the second article is same, right? The cost price of the second article and the third article are the same, and the cost price of the third article is 480 is what they are saying, right? Okay, it's definitely not an easy one. find the total cost price of all the three articles is what they are saying. Okay, right? Find the total price of all the three articles, right? Okay, so if I'm saying, right, if I'm saying that the cost price are in the ratio, right, 40, the cost price are 40x, sorry, the selling price are this x and 46x. Can I say like that? Okay, right? Can I say like that? Right? And can I say the profits are 5%, 4% and 7%, right? This is all I can say, right? Okay, if the cost price of the third article is 480, right? So 480 into 1.07, is it equal to 46x, isn't it? Right, this is the selling price, right? Isn't it? Okay, so now you just have to solve for x, right? Okay, now this question absolutely, as I said to you, B type of question. So I will just use a little bit of my calculator over here, right? So this is your 480 into 1.07, right, divided by 46, right? Okay, divided by 46, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, so 480 into the cost price was how much? Cost price is 480 into 1.07, right, into you have 46, right, sorry, divided by 46, right? Okay, so divided by 46, you get the value of x, right? You get the value of x is equal to 11.16, right? Let's say 11.16, okay, right? So now 11.16 is the value of x, right? They are saying what is the total cost price, right? Total cost price. So cost price for this is given over here, right? Okay, right? Now we told the selling price are 40x, 37x or 46x, right? Okay, so now over here, what is that? Okay, now can I say something like 37x is equal to 37 over here into 37, okay, right, into x, which means 11.16, which is equal to 413. Okay, now this 413, right, is earning because of 4% of profit, right? 4% of profit means the cost price will be over here will be how much? Okay, divided by 1.04, right? Okay, is equal to divided by 1.04, right, which comes to, right, 397, right? Okay, now 397 is the cost price of the first or the second, right? So for the second also the cost price will be again 397, right? So 397 plus 397 plus 480, right? Okay, this is 500 and over here 5 plus 8, 1300, right? Less than little bit 1300, right? Okay, this is your plus over here 480, right? So the answer comes out to be somewhere around 1274, right? All right, it did not work out, but no worries. Okay, so the selling price are in the ratio 40x, 37x and 46x, right? Okay, right, and the profit, if the profit are in the ratio 5:4:7, can I say 5y%, 4y%, right, 7y%? Can I say something like that? Okay, so I'll just go ahead with the traditional way of solving, the exact way that they have given over here, right, which absolutely I did not like it. Okay, they have given this solution over here, right? Okay, they have given this way, right? Okay, so what they have given, what they have done is that the cost price of the first article is what they have given over here, right? Okay, right? Okay, so what we will do, we'll just go back. Okay, we are solving it over here, right? Okay, so if 40x is the selling price, okay, for the first article, right? 40x minus cp of 1 divided by cp of 1 into 100, it's equal to 5y, right? Isn't it? This is what they have given, right? Similarly 4y is equal to 37x minus cp2 divided by cp2 into 100 is what they have given, right? And they have also given one more observation, that cp1 is equal to cp2, right? Okay, which means the cost price of 1 is equal to the cost price of 2, right? These are the stuffs that we have, right? And what they have given over here is that the cost price of the third one is, right, is they have given, right? So 7y is equal to, right, selling price of the third one is 46x, right? 46x minus 480 divided by 480 into 100 is what they have given over here, right? Okay, right? So now from this you will get some value of x and y. From here you will get the values of x and y, right? So I'll just do myself a little bit of help in that case, right? So this is exactly where this one comes from, right? Okay, then they are writing cp1 over here, right? Okay, cp1, then cp2, right? And they are equating over here, right? And all that, right? So yeah, absolutely, I mean this is not an easy question to solve for sure. Okay, right? So yeah, let's solve it. Okay, we don't have any other option. Okay, yeah, this really does not look a very beautiful one for me to work out with, but we don't have any other option, so we'll go ahead. Okay, yeah, these are the type of questions in the examination hall that you are supposed to skip, folks, right? Okay, I would say even put that in C type of question, right? Okay, so now over here 48 into 7, 48 into 7 is 50 into 7, 50 into 7 is how much? Okay, 50 into 7, 350, 350, 7 into 2, 340, 340, 338, right? Okay, 338 y is equal to 460x minus 400 4800, right? Is that what we have? Is that what we have? I'm very much scared of doing any calculation error over here, right? Okay, 336x 460, 336y 460x and 4800, right? Okay, 336, right? 336, yeah, you see, small mistake over here, right? Okay, so this is one such equation which we got from here, right? Okay, now if we solve for this, right, over here 5y c1 cp1, 5y cp1 is equal to 40, then 2 more zeros, right, into x minus 100 cp1, right? Isn't it? Okay, this is what we get from this particular value, right? So now if I bring 5y cp1, then this one over here 100 cp1 is equal to 4000x, right? Okay, so cp1 if I take as common, 5y plus cp1 is how much? 100 is equal to 4000x, right? 4000x. Okay, so now over here what do we get? cp1, okay, cp is the cost price 1, is equal to 4000 x divided by 5y plus 100. Okay, 5y plus 100. I did not cut any of these numbers over here, right? Okay, let's just check if we did it correctly, right? Okay, okay, 5y divided by 100. They have divided it by 100, all of it. Okay, right? So let's just also divide that with 100, just to keep by 100 over here. So if we divide that with 100, this one will go this one will go, and 5y will become how much? 0.05y. Okay, so this is the value of CP1 over here, right? Okay, now what is that? Okay, CP2, let's just calculate over here CP2, right? 4y CP2, right, which is equal to 3700x minus 100 CP2, right? Okay, so this is what you have. Now we get rid of this. CP1 is equal to CP2 is already known, right? Okay, so this is your what is CP2 is common, right? 4y plus 100 is equal to 3700x, right? Which means CP2 over here, right? CP2 over here, right? So CP2 is equal to 3700x, which is divided by 4y plus 100. That is what we have, okay, right? So now if we again divide that by 100, this 0 will go on to a toss, okay, but now x will stay back, okay, and this 100 will go, okay, and this 4y will become 0.04y. Okay, I'm dividing each of this by 100, right? Okay, and now we also know CP1 is equal to CP2, right? If CP1 is equal to CP2, can I say these two equations are equal? If I say these two equations are equal, right? Okay, see, absolutely in the examination hall, skip this question for the sake of God, okay, or for yourself, right? 37x divided by 0.04y plus 1, okay, this is what you have. Now you have two equations and two variables, right? You have two equations, this equation and this equation. Solve for x and y, okay, right? Yeah, I'm so sorry, there is no other way, right? If you know any better way for this, you let me know. I will communicate that, okay, right? I will speak, okay. If you think there is any better way for this particular question, I'll work with you, right? Okay, so 336y over here, let's just see how they have done the calculation, okay. So they have simply said over here x is equal to this and y is equal to this, okay. X is equal to this and y is equal to this is what they have said, okay, right? Can I take a shortcut and do not want to find out the numbers in that case, right? Okay, let's just work around, okay. So now this is how much? 40, okay, this is how much? 336y is equal to 440x minus 4800, right? Okay, so now if I calculate it over here, then we'll be having a xy, okay. So yeah, okay, what can we do, right? I'll take a little bit of shortcut, I hope you guys don't mind, okay, right? Because that will take a hell of a lot of calculation. I'm taking this value, right? Y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 19.2, okay, right? So y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 19.2. With this calculation, if you do, right, please go back and do the calculation, I'm so sorry, right? Okay, right? All right, certain calculations are not that easy, right? Okay, so yeah, you have to do a little bit of calculation over here, right? So now you know the value of x and the value of y, right? Y is equal to 12 and x is equal to, right, how much? 19.2, right? So for the first one, right, okay, the selling price was how much? Okay, selling price was 40 into 19.2, right? Okay, and y value is 12, means this was 60%, right? Okay, if it was 16%, means what was CP1 over here? CP1 was equal to 40 into 9.2 divided by 60% means what? 60% means simply divided by 1.6 is what you can do, folks, right? Okay, so this one gone 4 times, this one gone 10 times, this one gone 2 times, this one gone 5 times. Okay, this one gone how many times? 86 times, right? So 86 into 5 is how much? 430, right? So 430 is the 86 into 5 is 430, right? Okay, is that the number that they have also calculated? Okay, right? How man? Is this the number that they have calculated? Hold on. Okay, right? Y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 19, right? Okay, y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 19 is what we have, right? Y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 19.2, right? Y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 19.2 is what we have, right? Okay, so now their selling price were in the ratio 40x, 37x and 46x is what we told, right? Okay, so the selling price is 40 into 19.2, right? Okay, so CP SP of 1, right? Okay, so which means selling price of 1 is equal to 40 into 19.2, right? Selling price of 1, is that the number we have? Okay, right? And this is gone, and then 5y means how much? 60%, right? Okay, so x plus x of 60%, selling price is this number, right? Okay, and profit is your 60%, right? Why? Because this number is here 12 into 5, right? So how much is the cost price? Cost price is equal to selling price, which is 19.2 divided by 1.6, right? Is that the number we have? Right, this is the cost price of 1, right? This is your CP1, this gone, this one gone. Okay, right? This one will go how many times? Okay, 160, 12 times. Okay, so this is your 480. We did some calculation errors somewhere. Okay, right? Which is also equal to your CP2 also, right? CP1, CP2. So coincidentally, your third article, the price is also 480. First article and second article is also 480. So 480 into 3, right? Okay, over here 1440 is going to be the answer to this question, folks, right? Okay, yeah, in the examination hall, absolutely skip this question. Okay, skip this question, absolutely, right? Okay, don't do this question. If you do this question, that is called harakiri, right? Harakiri. You have to solve the questions quick and fast, right? Okay, I don't know how much time I have taken to solve this question alone, right? Okay, let's move on to question number 63. The salary of 2 persons is the same, which is equal to 12,000 if the ratio of their expenditure, right? Okay, if let's say if I'm saying, right, the ratio of the expenditure of the first and second is 5:4, the ratio of the saving is 23:28, right? Okay, if I'm saying the ratio of their savings are 23:28, can I say their savings are 23x and 28x? So 12,000 minus 23x divided by 12,000 minus 28x, is it equal to 5/4? Is it equal to 5/4? Right, isn't it? Okay. So salary minus over here savings is equal to expenditure, right? Absolutely, right? Pretty much logical, right? Isn't it? Okay. So now let's just solve for this. Let's just solve for x, right? 12 into 4, 48,000 minus. Okay. This is your 80 and 12, which is your 92x is equal to 6123 minus, okay, 140x, right? Now if this one comes over here on this side, so this is your 40 minus 8, which is your 48x, right? And over here is your 12,000, right? So 12,123 divided by 48 is equal to x, right? So 12 into 4 and 1 0 0 0, right? So x is equal to 250, right? The value of x is equal to 250. So what is the question that they have asked? Let's look at the question. X is equal to 250, right? The question that they have asked, find the expenditure of the second person, right? The expenditure of the second person is how much? 12,000 minus 28, right? Okay, right, minus 28x, right? So 28 into 250, right? How do you do 28 into 250? 28 in 250 into 4 is 1000, right? Okay, so this value will be how much? 7000, right? This value is your 7000. Yeah, I mean there are certain easy calculations also. So if you do that, you get over here question number 63, D as an answer to this particular question, folks, right? Easy, easy, right? Absolutely easy one. Okay, so shall we move to the next question in that case? Right, so we'll move to the next question, right? Question number 64, if the ratio of the first two numbers are 6:7, right? The ratio of the third and fourth number is 27:59, right? Then what number must be added in all the numbers to make the ratio of the first two numbers same as the third and fourth numbers, right? So if the ratio is 6:17, right, plus x is equal to 27 plus x and 59 plus x, right? This is what we have, right? Okay, had the don't solve it now, don't solve it. If the number was 5, okay, so which means 11 by 22 is it equal to 32 by how much? Okay, 64, right? Okay, so this is gone 1 by 2, 1 by 2, right? So easily, yes, 64, A is the answer, right? Okay, A is the answer, right? Okay, so yeah, this is how smartly you have to work around, right? Okay, now question number 65 over here, right? Let's just read through that. Find the time taken by a train of length 225 meter, right, moving with a speed of 36 km/h, right? 36 km/h means 5 by 18. You can simply do it like it is moving at the speed of 10 meter per second. Why we have to do it? They have already given meter and answer is in second, right? Okay, find the time taken by a train of length this much, okay, right? And this is the platform length, right, which is how much? 500 divided by 10, 50 seconds. Easy. A swimmer can swim at a speed of 5 km/h, right? Swimmer can swim at the speed of 5 km/h, right? But when he starts, right, when he starts under diving, his speed increases by 10% the speed, right? Okay, and it lasts only for 30 meter, right? Then find the approximate time taken by him to swim 50 meter and return back, right? So total he is swimming in two blocks, 30 meter and 70 meter, right? Isn't it? In the 30 meter block, his speed is 5.5 km/h, but in this block his speed is 5 km/h only, right? Okay, 5.5 km/h means what? 5 by 18, right, meter per second. 5 by 18 meter per second, right? Is that what we have? Time is equal to distance by speed. Distance is this, speed is how much? Over here speed is 5.5 into 5 into 18. Over here this is your speed and distance by speed. Okay, 5 into 5 into 18 over here, right? Calculate this, right? So if you want to okay, yeah, how are you going to solve this, right? How should we solve this one, right? Okay, now solving this is a little bit challenging. This is what it looks. Okay, so 30 into 18 into 30, right? Okay, so let's just do something. Okay, what we will do, this 5, okay, this 5, okay, will go over here 6 times, right? Okay, now this 5, now this, okay, sorry, not this one. Just touch it here. Okay, no worries. Okay, so this 5 will go over here how much? 14 times. Okay, it will go 14 times, right? Can we do any more calculation here and there? Right? No. Can we simply take 18 common? Okay, can we simply take 18 common over here? Right? So we will take 18 common, right? Okay, now 6 divided by 5.5, can I write 60 divided by 55? Okay, right? So can I divide into 11? Into 11 can I do? Yep, we can do that. So 60 plus 140 plus 14 is 154 divided by how much? 55 into 18, right? I just want to avoid the calculation. I'll be very honest with you, right? Okay. So 4, 6, 5, 1, 2, 55 and 18, right? Now we can't avoid no calculation. We have to just do it. Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think? Does 214 goes with 11? Right? Does 214 goes with 11? Right? So 214 into 18 divided by 55. Right? Okay. So if we calculate this, you will get 70.03 seconds over here is the answer for this particular question, folks. Right? Absolutely calculation, absolutely, a calculation intensive one for sure, right? Okay, absolutely a calculation intensive question for sure. Maybe you could have left it all alone to be done maybe later, right? Okay, so this is your question number 66, right? Now let's move on to question number 67. Two persons A and B are at a distance of 100 meter, right? Okay, both started towards each other, right? Okay, A is here and B is here. Both started towards each other on a straight line path with the same speed. After traveling 20 meters, B turns to his left, okay, and travels 10 meters, right? And he turns right, okay, right means this, isn't it? To right and travels 10 meters, right? And again turns right and travels 10 meters, right? Now at what distance, what is the distance between A and B at this stage? Okay, right? What is the distance? Okay, right? Person A and B are at a distance of 100 meters, okay, right? So let's say B is over here, okay, B is over here and A is over here, right? Okay, two persons A and B are at a distance of 100 meters. Both started towards each other on a straight path with the same speed, okay. After traveling to 20 meters, that means B traveled for 20 meters, right? B turns left and travels for 10 meters and then travels right, okay, 10 meters, right? And travels 10 meters, okay, and again turns right and travel 10 meters, right? Okay, so basically over here B has traveled 20, 30, 40, 50. So A must have traveled 50 meters in this direction, okay. So A has closed the gap of 50 meters already, right? B has closed the 20 meter gap here, 10 meter gap here, right? That's it, right? So that means 80 meter of gaps has been closed. How much gap is still there? 20 meter of gap is still there, right? Isn't it? Isn't, folks? Right? Right? Easy. What do you guys think about that? Not writing in the chat, just watching silently, right? Look, you have to write this, solve these questions in your examination hall, right? We'll move quick, okay. Question number 67. Question number 67, B over here is the correct answer, folks, right? Okay, you are going to get a short 100% correct answer if you are able to solve maths, okay, right? A boat takes 1.5 minutes in upstream. Upstream is against the flow to cover a certain distance, right? And 1 hour downstream to cover the same distance, right? Okay, right? time over here is given, time is equal to distance by speed, distance divided by, right, speed of the boat plus downstream, right, distance, d is your distance, okay, right, d is the distance, right, speed of the boat minus the speed of the stream, right, which is the case of upstream, which is equal to how much, right, 1.5, right, is that what you have? Is that what you have? Speed of the boat is already given over here, right, which is the 7.5, right, which means otherwise distance is equal to speed into time. Speed is how much? 7.5 minus the stream, right, this is what they have asked, into 1.5, right. Again, the another case for distance is what? When it is going downstream, right, okay, in that case 7.5 plus the speed of the stream into 1, right, okay, or we don't write it as it is, right, in both the case distance are same, right, so can I say 7.5 over here, right, can I say over here 7.5 plus s, can I say? Absolutely yes, we can say. So 7.5 plus s is equal to 7.5 into 1.5. Now that's a challenging one, okay, right, 7.5 into 1.5, 5 into 5 25, 2 35, and 5 is 40, 2 42, 7 11, 1 2 11.2, right, so 11.25 is what you have, minus 1.5 s, right. Now if it goes over here on this side, right, which means you have 2.5 s is equal to 7.50 minus, which means 5, and this is 7 and this is 3, right, 3.75 is what you have, right. So s is equal to 3.75 divided by 2.5, right, 2.5 1.25, this one will go how many? 1.5 times, right. So the speed of the stream is 1.5 km ph, okay, right. Guys, don't have your mind blocked with decimals, okay, don't have your mind blocked with decimal. You could have changed that into fraction and solved that as well, okay, right, that is also your completely your choice, okay, that is your choice, you could have done that way as well, okay, right. So question number 68 gone. Question number 69, a boy is running along the edge of this square field, okay, boy is running along the edge of this square field, right, with a speed of 2 meter per second along the first stage, 3 meter per second along the second edge, 4 meter per second along the third edge, 6 meter per second along the fourth edge. Find the average speed of the boy during the one's completed round, okay. Can I say each of the edge is 12 meter long, right, each of the edge is 12 meter long, okay. To travel the first edge he will take 6 seconds, he will take 4 seconds, he will take 3 seconds, he will take 2 seconds, right. Total distance is equal to 12 into 4, which is 48. Total time is 6 plus 4, 10 plus this much is how much? 15, right, which is how much, right, 5 and how much? 16 times, right, 3 and 1 by 5 meter per second, okay. It always helps to reduce the variables into constant, folks, right, always it helps to reduce the variables into constant. Question number 70, a man or a woman, or a boy can do a work in 4 days, right, a man, a woman or a boy can do a piece of work in 4 days. 12 days, okay, a man can do it in 4 days, right, woman can do it in 12 days, boy can do it in 60 days, right, okay. 2 men and 5 women started to work, okay, 2 men and 5 women started to work, then they completed the work in 1 day, right, okay, right, they completed the work in 1 day, right, okay. So if a man can complete the work in 4 days, right, so for a man to complete the work in 1 day, 4 men will be required, right. Similarly, for women to complete the work in 1 day, right, okay, right, 12 women will be required. for boys to complete the work in one day, 60 boys will be required. Yes or no? Did you guys understand all of this? Okay. Did you guys understand that? Okay, right. So basically, 4 men is equal to 12 women is equal to 60 boys, right? Okay, 60 boys, right? Okay, 2 men, right? 2 men. Okay, so each men are equal to 3 women. Okay, so 2 men is equal to how much? 6 women, right? In capacity, I'm saying, right? Okay, so basically, you have 11 women, right? Now, 1 woman. Then now you needed 12 women, right, to complete the work in one day, right? You needed 12 women to complete the work in one day, which means there was a gap of 1 woman. This gap of 1 woman was filled with whom? By the boys, right? Right? By the boys, right? And 12 women is equal to 60 boys. So which means one woman is equal to how much? 5 boys, right? Okay. So this gap was filled by 5 boys, right? So over here, how many number of boys required? 5 was the number of boys required over here, folks, right? Okay, right? Okay, all right. So in a garrison, there was a food for 200 soldiers for 31 days. Okay, for 200 soldiers, 31 days, right? Okay, after 27 days, there was a food for 200 soldiers for 4 days, isn't it? Okay, so basically, if they had to finish off it in one day only, a total of 800 soldiers could have eaten, right? 4 into this particular number, right? If 120 soldiers left the work, right? How long will it work? If 120 soldiers left the work, only 80 soldiers are remaining, right? So 10 days it will go, isn't it? Okay, given the fact that they are the food is not getting stale, right? How long would the remaining soldiers be able to carry on with the remaining food, right? They will be able to carry on for the 10 days, right? Okay, easy or tough? Tell me. All right, so I think we can have a half a minute of break, water break maybe. Okay, an inlet pipe, right? Read the question, folks, and write down in the comment if you are able to understand that or not able to understand that. I might want to slow down if you have to ask any question. You see, that is the perks of joining these classes where you don't have these many people, right? You can ask questions and I'll be able to answer that as well, right? Okay, isn't it? Isn't that a perk, right? Okay, all right. So let's move on to the next one in that case, right? Okay, so an inlet pipe takes 6 hours to fill a tank, while an outlet pipe takes 6 hours to drain a tank. A tank full of water is attached with 8 pipes. Okay, right? A tank full of water is attached with 8 pipes. Inlet and outlet, all pipes are open simultaneously, and the total time to drain the tank is 6 hours. Then find the number of inlet pipes out of 8 pipes is what they are asking. Okay, right? So inlet pipes, right? Inlet pipes takes 8 hours to fill, right? Okay, 8 hours to fill, right? And outlet pipes take 6 hours to drain. Okay, right? Okay, all the pipes are open simultaneously and the total time to drain the tank is 6 hours, right? Then find the number of, right? Then find the number of inlet pipes is what they are asking. Okay, can I say that total capacity is like 24, right? Okay, so which means every single hour they are doing +3 and outlet is doing the work of -4, right? Okay, if there are 2 inlet pipes, okay, if there are 2 inlet pipes means, okay, every every hour, right, every hour they are, right, okay, they are doing what? 2 inlet pipes will be doing +6 work, okay, right? +6 work is what they will be doing, right? Minus this 6 will be over here, right? -24, right? okay, minus 24. So this particular value is coming out to be minus 18, right? Okay, okay. So every single hour this is doing plus 3 minus 1, okay, plus 3 minus 1 is what they are doing over here, right? Okay, if there are 3 inlet pipes, okay, if there are 2 inlet pipes, right, if there are 2 inlet pipes, so inlet pipes are doing what? Plus 3, outlet pipes are doing minus 4, right? Okay, so plus 3, right, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? Isn't it? It's something like that. Okay, so this is your 6 plus 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? 6 minus 24, which is equal to minus 18 every single, right, into 6, right? Again it is going in minus, right? So this is not what we are looking at. Okay, so if we are having 3 inlet pipes means, this is how it will work out, right? 3 plus 3 is 9, right? And over here, right, 3 plus 3 9, and one more over here, right? Isn't it? Okay, so plus 9, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 5, right, minus 20, which is minus 11 into 6. Again we are supposed to have 0, right? Okay, because it is draining the tank in 6 hours, right? Okay, if we have 4 inlets, right, if we have 4 inlets, it will be like how much? Plus 3 over here, right? Isn't it? Right, plus 3 over here. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is how much? 12 plus 12, and this particular value is how much? 1 2 3 4, right, minus 16, right? This is your minus 4, right? Okay, right, minus 4, net minus 4 they are doing, right? Okay, net minus 4 they are doing, right? Net minus 4 they are doing. Okay, every hour if net minus 4 they are doing, so in 6 hours will it be net minus 24? Tell me. Okay, right, the tank is full already, right? So all of this 24 going down the drain, yes or no? Okay, so if that is the case, for question number 72 we'll go ahead with C as an answer. Okay, right, question number 72 gone. All right, question number 73. In that case, let's move on. An article is marked 50% above its cost price, right? 50% above its cost price. The shopkeeper gives 2 successive discounts of 10% and 20% to the customer, and in this case the profit earned by the shopkeeper is 8%, right? Okay, so find the cost price. If cost price is 120, the marked price will be 180, right? Cost price is 150, marked price will be 225, right? Over here will be some 1.5, right? 175 divided by 2, which is 87.5, 175, 87.5, 2, right, 262.5, something like that. Okay, very least likely to be, C is extremely unlikely to be the answer over here in this case, right? Okay, so just don't worry, right? So now 50% means it was marked as 120, right? Okay, first they gave 10% discount means, okay, minus 15, that means 135, right? Okay, if they gave minus 20% discount again over here, right? Okay, so 20% of 135 is how much? 27, right? So 135 minus 27, which is 108, right? 108, right? So this worked out, right? Question number 73. D is what is the answer to the question, folks. Okay, obviously you could not have solved with this or with this, right? Your life would have been pretty much difficult even in going through the options as well. Okay, right? Or otherwise, right, if you assume the cost price is equal to X, right? Okay, and then the marked price is equal to 1.5, right? And then discount is there, so 0.x, again discount is there, so 0.9, which is equal to how much? right, okay, which is equal to 1.08x, right, okay. If you solve for this, you will also get the answer, okay. How exactly we got this equation, right? Marked price 50% above means multiplying factor is 1.5. 20% discount means multiplying factor is 0.8. 10% again discount is 0.9. Okay, all those formulas that you study in a plus b plus a into b by 100 and all that. Okay, it's the same, right? But it's this makes life slightly easier, right? And it's make the calculation faster. Okay. Now, why I have been telling all of you to treat all the 100 question as a one single block of paper, okay, one single block of the entire paper, right? This is what I have been suggesting you, right? Yes or no? Why exactly I have been suggesting you, right? You see, in mathematics you have some couple of easy questions, okay. Yeah, I have taken it from Arihant PYQ book, which is not that reliable, but that's okay, fair enough. At least for the practice, right? Okay, because AFCAT is a your a memory based question, and all the other providers, textbook, this, that, XYZ, whatever you might be having, they also give on the basis of memory only, right? Okay, so find the ratio of the number common by the circle, triangle and trapezium. Okay, circle which is there inside the circle, triangle and trapezium only, right? Circle, triangle and trapezium only, right? Is that the number we have? To the number common by triangle and trapezium only. Okay, triangle and trapezium only. Is that the number we have? Triangle and trapezium only, right? So 5:6, we'll go ahead with D as an answer to this particular question. Easy, right? Question number 75, right? That only word is important, right? Okay. Find the sum of the numbers presents in the common part. Okay, common part of, right? Common part of trapezium, triangle and rectangle, right? Trapezium, then triangle, then trapezium over here, right? Trapezium, this is the trapezium, right? Then you have the triangle. Okay, find the sum of numbers present in the common part of trapezium, triangle and rectangle. This is the rectangle. Okay, right, isn't it? So all of these values come over here, right? So which is a 5? To the common part of circle, triangle, trapezium and pentagon. Okay, right? Circle, triangle, trapezium and pentagon. Okay, circle, anything outside circle just delete it. Okay, circle, triangle, trapezium, pentagon. Okay, right? Trapezium gone. Okay, circle, triangle. Okay, triangle, right? That is also gone, right? Plus 9. Okay, always it helps to do like that. Okay, right? But yeah, you might not have that much of luxury to do on the screen, right? Oh, sorry, right? Okay, you might not have that much of luxury to do such thing on the screen, right? Isn't it? But that's okay, right? Isn't it? All right. So with this, we finish off the mathematics part. Okay, and we get going over here with GK, right? Okay, so we gonna get started with GK, right? Okay, easy questions, we don't even have to worry about that. Okay, what is the material used in lead pencil, right? Everyone knows that is graphite, not mica. Mica is used for makeups. Okay, right? Carbon, coal and all that is wrong. Okay, unity and discipline, all those of you who are associated with NCC, they will know that. Okay, right? Stargazing, right? Stargazing, the players in my life. Okay, Sunil Gavaskar was the person writing this one. Okay, who among the following Padam Vibhushan award in 2021? Okay, Shinzo Abe, he was the PM of Japan, okay, that at that particular time, Shinzo Abe, right, he was given as the Padam Vibhushan award at that particular time, okay, right. ICC Women's Cricket of the Year was adjourned to Smriti Mandhana, and which was there in the news in 2021, okay, right. I remember that news, okay, right. And black color is caused by melanin as against keratin, as you might be thinking, okay. Adrenaline, that's definitely not the right answer, okay. Hold on, okay. Melanin, something like that, okay, right, okay. Melatonin, no, not B and D is not the answer, okay. 81, you have C as the answer. Okay, right. 82, the rate at which the Reserve Bank of India lends money to commercial rate, that is called as the repo rate, reverse rate. The commercial banks give deposits with a Reserve Bank, that is called as the reverse repo rate, okay, right. That is not bankers rate, we have something called bank rate as well, okay, right. And the midday meal scheme, right, midday meal scheme, it has drawn inspiration from Tamil Nadu, okay, from J. Jayalalitha, right, okay. She was an actress come chief minister of Tamil Nadu, and she started this midday meal scheme. And the Minister of Education, they got really, they really appreciated that one, and they did this across the nation, right. And it is under the Ministry of Education, right, okay. Consider the following words: socialist, democratic, sovereign, secularist, okay, right. Choose the response that gives the correct order in which the words occur in the preamble of the Constitution of India, right, okay. India is a sovereign, right, sovereign, socialist, secularist, democratic republic, okay. Sovereign, right, sovereign, sovereign, then socialist, right, sovereign, socialist, secularist, democratic, then you have a republic, okay. So which is A over here is the correct observation over here, right, okay. Which company has developed the income tax e-filing portal? Income tax e-filing portal was promulgated by none other than Infosys. Many of you must be working over there at Infosys, I'm certain about that, right, okay, right. Name of the famous warrior Begum from the Principality of Awadh who fought the British, right. It was Begum Hazrat Mahal, right. She fought the British as part of 1857 mutiny, right, okay. So the code name for the first nuclear test of India, it was Project Smiling Buddha, right, okay. So which is the correct answer over here, and match the following, right, okay. Sakshi Malik is about wrestling. Harmanpreet Kaur, she is about the cricket, okay. So over here this is wrong and this is wrong, right. And over here Deepa Karmakar is with wrestling, gymnastics, right. So B4, if you know, easily you can write down, correctly you can write down, right, the answer, right. Which of the following is not the Axis country, right, okay, Axis country, right, okay. So Japan, Germany and Italy, they were all together as Axis country, and France, US, right, UK and all that were the allied countries, right, okay. So over here the answer is France, right. Which operation was launched by Indian Navy for safe passage of Indian flagged merchant vessels in the Strait of Hormuz? It was named as Operation Sankalp. There is something called HADR mission, okay, human and disaster relief operations as well, okay. So there is one such type of HADR mission over here is your Operation Sankalp, folks, right. Let's look at question number 91, okay. Let's look at question number 91 over here, right. Rashtriya Rifles is currently deployed in the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir as well as Ladakh, right, okay. If you don't know this, personnel in this unit are appointed from various regiments of the Indian Army, which is absolutely a correct one, okay. So only one and neither one or two, these two are definitely not the answer, right. Only two, and both this 1 and 2, and you know it is they are deployed in Jammu and Kashmir, right. This is a well-known fact, but they are also deployed in Ladakh as well, folks, right? So over here, the correct answer for question number 91 is B, right? Okay, right. Arihant, everyone knows it's a nuclear submarine, so D1 easily, right? Okay, so Chetak is a helicopter, right? A4, everyone knows that. Okay, Astra is a missile. IL-72 is an air-to-air refueler over here. D is the correct answer, right? Okay. How many new Sainik schools are proposed to be set up by the union budget in 2021 and 22? You asked me, I'm a Sainikian, right? I'm from Sainik School, Amravati Nagar, right? Okay. So I got admission over there in 9th standard, right? Okay. And yeah, so I mean, we don't appreciate this, absolutely, right? We don't even appreciate the I mean, I come from that particular phase in the schools when our schools were only boys' schools, right? Okay, no co-ed at that time when I was there, right? Okay, so people were like, yeah, I mean, if you want to induct girls over there, you might want to open a separate Sainik schools for them, right? Isn't it? Okay, something like that was the argument. And in the PPP model, right, public-private partnership model, in which certain schools which are giving good quality education to the public masses over there, it was decided that 100 schools, 100 private schools were to be converted as Sainik schools. Okay, right, they were divided as Sainik schools, right? Okay, which among the following is the secondary pollutant? Over here, the correct standard is smog, right? Okay, smog is smoke plus fog. Okay, smoke plus fog over here is the smog. Okay, right? Question number 95. Okay, water in lakes remain cold during summer, right? That is correct. Okay, water in lakes remain cold during summer. It gets evaporated and the heat energy is converted into latent energy, right? Okay, I don't think so, right? Okay, I think A is correct. Okay, A is correct, but R is not related over here, right? Okay, I think 95 C is what you should be going ahead with. A is true, but R is false. Water at the depth of the lake stay cold even on the hot summer days because the sun rays of the sun are reflected through the surface of water and some amount of sun rays can reach at the specific distance. After this depth, the sun rays cannot reach hence the water is what? Cool, right? Okay, but there is no evidence of it getting turned into latent heat or anything like that. Okay, so 95 C is what we are going to. Okay, weather condition changes, right? Ionosphere, right, that part of atmosphere where it is in ions. Exosphere means beyond, like extreme part of your atmosphere. Stratosphere, where your aeroplanes fly, right? It happens in troposphere, which is very known observation over here, right? The paintings of Bodhisattva, right? Okay, the paintings of Bodhisattva, right? Okay, Padampani is one of the most famous and often illustrated paintings at Ajanta, right? Okay, it's not a Badami or Ellora caves, right? Though Badami is a bit different, right? But Ellora and Ajanta caves both has the paintings of Lord Buddhas and all that. Okay, where the headquarters of Organization for Prohibitions of Chemical Weapon, right? OPCW, right? Organization for Prohibition for Chemical Weapon is located. It is located in The Hague, which is in the Netherlands. Okay, right? Okay, which of the following country capital is not correctly matched? Brazil is to Brasilia, everyone knows that is correct. Algeria is to Algiers is correct. Tunisia is to Tunis is also correct. Morocco is to Morocco, right? D99D is wrongly matched. I forgot which one is the name of the capital of Morocco. Let's just check the capital of Morocco, right? Rabat. Okay, capital of Morocco is Rabat. Okay, it's not Maracay, right? Okay, right. Stymie is the a word which is associated with the game of golf over here, folks, right? Okay, all right, so with this we are done with your 2022 one question paper, right? Okay, memory based question paper, right? We can't exactly say which shift, okay, afternoon, evening, and which date, right? Because in those days, 3 days the exam used to be conducted in two shifts. So there was like 600 different questions, right? Okay, 600 different questions is what you could see over there, right? And there were a lot of talks also about the normalization, this and that, and all that stuff. Okay, so with the memory, all that could be gathered over here, we have that is we are done with this particular question paper 2022 2, right? I have taken this from Arihant PYQ book, right? Okay, you might want to refer that as well if you want to study that in more detail. Let me just show you a little bit of the explanation part as well. So if you want to just go through it on by yourself, so it will come very handy to you. You might want to stop the video at that particular question that you want to look at, and then refer it back whenever you want to study. Okay, right? All right, so this is from 51 onwards. Okay, so 66. Okay, up till that this is done, and yeah, okay, this is done, and lastly this is done as well. Okay, right? So as I have been telling to you already, right? Yeah, Satyam, that's correct. Okay, okay, thank you so much. Dutch, you wrote Dutch for what? Okay, right? Okay, okay, always write down the answer question number, then won't be able to look at each of them, right? Okay, so yeah, lastly, AFCAT is your aptitude based examination. It's not the test of your knowledge. Okay, it's not the test of your knowledge. Okay, so go and ace the exam. All the very best. Okay, and we'll meet tomorrow with 2021 2, and the very next day, that will be the last paper, we'll do 2021 one paper as well. Okay, so thank you so much folks for joining. Bye bye, good night, Jai Hind, and take care folks. Bye bye, good night, and Jai Hind folks.